gotta deal with me and be with me till I'm gone. Give me pity in the city where we all just go to stay. I don't care if you don't love me because I am here to stay. I wish that I'll have more focus and less broken, that I'll change. But for now I'm just a kid who's stuck in his old freaking ways.
Thanks a lot.
Man, I swear last summer was like a dream. Feels like last summer was like a dream. And I'm trying to figure out what it means. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what it means. It's such a tragedy to stay inside on peaceful summer days, but I got nobody calling me. I stayed behind the scenes.
So a couple of you messaged me on Instagram and Twitter asking about, why I decided to start the vlog, what kind of things is it useful for, as well as, how do I do it in general. So I thought I would cover it this month. So to give you a little bit of background, I started doing vlogging back in January. Sorry, that took me a while. I started vlogging back in January, and the reason why I got started was actually inspired by my December project, which was doing a fully animated video essay. And it's interesting because it was a very ambitious endeavor in a way where I was also very, very naive. I thought that, hey, I've done everyday art up to 400 something days, non-stop every single day. And I feel like that I have accumulated enough kind of intention. I've accumulated enough kind of intuition in terms of how to build out long form narratives. And as I kind of dug deeper in December, I realized I was like, this is an interesting challenge, because what I want to talk about was very abstract, and it was about input in new mediums. And then also doing long form short animations is very, very grueling when you have to build everything from scratch. And after that exercise, I basically came to the realization that, hey, I need to get better at doing editing. I need to get better at doing composition, pacing, and transitions. And I thought to myself, I was like, look, it's going to be very time consuming if I have to build up every scene to practice in terms of how I want to get better at all these types of skills that I want to gather. And what I thought to myself was maybe it's actually a good opportunity to use the real world footage as a way to augment, or as a way to make it easier for myself to get into it, because it's a lot easier for me to capture footages and just try to figure out how to tell a story and pace around it. And so that's the big reason why I got started. Another big reason is that the nature of the work that I do, because I tend to work in very new mediums, what ends up happening is that I like to do things in very high fidelity. So when I say high fidelity, I mean that I tend to do things that is as close as possible to the medium. And the reason behind that is because I want to make sure that people share the same mental model, especially when there's not a lot of history or examples from the past that people can draw from. And when I was working as the lead for Oculus Rift design, I did a lot of my work in 3D animatics, mostly to communicate with engineers as well as product managers and execs, of course. One of the big things that I kind of personally believe in when I do design work is that we as designers need to capture the sense of aesthetics for the users. And when I say aesthetics, I mean that not by the nature of like what color we should pick or like what boxes we should use, but more in terms of like how should it make the users feel and how should we make the players feel. And what I find is that as I kind of evolved in my role, I needed to capture the sense of aesthetic in bigger and bigger narratives. And it's become super costly in terms of like just from a production standpoint to get the idea across, because I tend to chew on the idea while I'm making things. And so yeah, that part is really interesting, and like recognizing the fact that like I just need to be more efficient and be more mindful and well practiced in terms of how to encapsulate those ideas is done by vlogging basically. So to give you a little bit of detail in terms of what kind of things I use to do my vlog, I have an Osmos Pocket for capturing films. Mostly because I really dislike carrying bags, and Osmos Pocket fit perfectly into my pocket, as the name suggests. And then I also use Premiere Pro to cut and edit, and then a lot of the audios that I kind of pick out is from SoundCloud, and I usually try to leave a link in the description underneath. So yeah, it's been a really, really fruitful journey for me in terms of doing vlogs. Back in February, I actually did a big, I was working on a big pitch for like hardware and a new hardware, and then like experiences around that. And it ended up to be, how do you say it, like a lot more efficient in terms of like building out storyboards, figuring out like what are the core message that we want to come across and communicate internally and potentially externally as well. So it's been a really, really fun journey as well. I think for me, it's like I kind of went through a little bit of a low time for the last couple of months personally. And it's really nice to see vlogs because I kind of can cherry pick on the parts that like is like meaningful as well as like emotionally joyful for me. So definitely spark joy. And you notice a lot more about like how kind of creative output and creative expression has a lot to do with entropy and kind of sometimes you may call it waste, but I actually find it as a way to be more selective and be more curated to figure out like what is something that is aesthetic. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to message me or actually leave me a comment below. And yeah.
They want a story, I'ma tell them that. They wanna see I got the visions, want the change, I'll make the difference. And you know that I'll be searching till I bring it back. Yeah, I went through hell and back to find myself, but I am not the same as who I left. No, I am not the same, I'm reinvented from the head to toe. Still I'm on that same roll, still I'm grinding just to reach the payroll. Since I was like yay tall and yay oh, I was always cooking, you was feeding up the day-ohs. I ain't really know it, but I should though. I ain't really get it, but I could though. Something about the distance got me shook though. Head so full of I don't cares and I don't knows, but I've been hiding from a part of me, still keep it close. My tired face, my normal face, so you know that ain't changed. I gotta go, I gotta check, so you